Today here at the TL Land Studios Cafe at the Columbus Center, we have a special occasion to celebrate, maybe with a nice cup of espresso. Tony Varone is with us. Thank you. Congratulations, Tony. You were just appointed by the Governor General of Canada as a senator. And I think we should be celebrating because you are a very well-known leader in the Italian-Canadian community. You are a philanthropist, you are a business person. What are your first thoughts?
Well, first of all, you're too kind in your opinion, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm honored. I will do whatever I can. Hopefully I can, make good on the expectations of the community. So I welcome the challenge.
You must feel you're at home here at the Columbus Center, all these buildings. I can only imagine all the memories they bring back to you. You were chairman of the Columbus Center, you were president of Villa Charities.
It's a double-edged sword because it also ages you. But I began here in 1980. I started to serve on the board 81, 82. Was asked to join the Columbus Center board back then. By 1985, I was the president chairman of the board, and then Senator Nino, when he was asked to join the Senate, I took over the role of the chairman of Villa Charities. So it was, yes, and I still serve on this board, on the foundation board to this day. So it's been a 40-year love affair.
I understand there's also pictures that testify all this work that you did.
Yes.
And I remember a picture of you actually working on a roof, something like that.
Oh, it could be. I mean, it's, yes, I mean, I've been involved with just about every project that you see here, save and except the original Villa Colombo. The additions I was involved in, but that was before my time. 1974, I was still in school, but when we added the Fidani wing and now the renovation that's going on with the Fusco wing, I'm still involved.
The Prime Minister said that you bring a wealth of experience and knowledge. How do you react to these words?
He's too kind, as you are. You bring, listen, my father as an immigrant never understood the concept of leisure. He taught us how to work and how to work hard. So a lot of people think that I'm smarter than they are, but I'm not. I just work hard, and with that comes the experience on making good choices. And honestly, even with my charitable endeavors, it's making good choices on behalf of the community that kind of propels you to the forefront. But I'm not smarter than the people that were here before me, nor will I be smarter than the people taking their seats after me. So I know that I have a good work ethic.
How was it growing up as an Italian Canadian here?
Interesting. I mean, I'm the product of a public school education. So I went to Lamberton Grade School and Elia Junior High and C.W. Jeffries. And the Italian community was not the dominant community. I mean, you had a very strong Jewish community. We had an Army base community because of the Downsview Air Force Base. And it was, like in the early 70s in high school, it was a very homogeneous type melting pot, the design of immigrant Canada. So growing up exposed me to all the different communities that to this day remain very close friends. So,
going back to your family, would you like to share with us some of your family's immigration history?
My father and mother both come from the same town, Cassino, Italy, made famous by the monastery Monte Cassino. And for any of the people that know what happened to that town, it got eliminated by the Allies. They bombed the monastery to the ground. They bombed the city to the ground. In 1944, there wasn't a single building left standing. And my father was 13, my mother was 12. They were both children of war. But they saw the Canadian Armed Forces liberate the townspeople from the tyranny of fascism and Nazism, and it was that indelible mark left on both my mother and father of these foreigners, these Canadians that work so hard in the trenches, carrying all kinds of equipment, because the Gustav line in Italy was the territory. That was what they had to break through.
TLN has a special documentary on those days.
I know it well, and I've watched it many times, and have recorded the TLN special. But let me tell you two things about that. There was no food, and so when my father was jumping from foxhole to foxhole, it was the Canadian soldiers that shared their food with him, and he brought it back up to the family. When my mother, and you have to understand, this is something I learned through your TLN special. The spoils of war. And when the Moroccans were fighting with the Allies, the Italians were the enemy. And my mother's oldest sister was captured by the Moroccans, and at gunpoint by a Canadian soldier was freed. The spoils of war. And those two elements alone was enough for my father to make the decision to come to Canada, not the US, not France, not Sydney, Australia. All those choices were available because the town emptied out through immigration, but he came to Canada because of those two experiences. And that's why we're here.
Let's talk about the Senate now, because as we all know, the Senate not only defends regional interests, but also opens very important spaces for all those historically underrepresented communities. What do you think about the Italian-Canadian community?
I think the quality of the independent senators, they represent Canadians. And yes, I will endeavor to do my best to represent Italian-Canadian perspective, but I'm there to represent all of Torontonians, and that means a lot more than our community. So, and I would assume as much for the other independent senators that are there. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Senator Tony Varone, thank you for being with us, and again, congratulazioni.
Thank you. Thank you.